everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of It's All in the Movies. My name's Dustin Ingalls, and each episode I will be joined by a guest to bring you reviews of the newest releases in theaters. Today, I'm joined by Jen, and we are reviewing The Purge, the newest film from the producers of Paranormal Activity, Insidious, starring Ethan Hawke. And so, this is kind of one of those movies I think we need to fill everybody in on what it's, what happened. So basically, it's a 12-hour period, The Purge, once a year, in which all crime is legal in America. And the idea is that this is going to, it reduces poverty and crime, which I have an issue with that later, and all this good stuff. And so Ethan Hawke's family basically is a wealthy family that is able to barricade themselves in their house, and things go south. This is going to be a hard movie to not have spoilers in and talk about. It's going to be really difficult. But what did you think of The Purge?
Well, I didn't have extremely high expectations going into it.
That helps sometimes.
Yeah, so I'm not a huge Ethan Hawke fan, but the previews, they were intriguing enough. So I was like, yeah, I could see this. And I really love Paranormal Activity, so I was willing to give it a shot. Yeah,
that's a good point, is you are here because we like spooky movies.
Yes.
Generally, there aren't a ton of people I know that are willing to see spooky movies with me, but this was perfect. But it's not, so what, you liked it?
I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't go into it thinking I was going to like it. I found it to be extremely predictable, but it was entertaining. Like, it was a fun movie to watch. Like, I was never bored, even though I was predicting things. And then I was just like, yes, I was right. I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. So I thought it was entertaining. I could have watched it on my couch at home. I didn't feel the need that to see it in the movie theater. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah, this is good. This is great, because this will be the first time, really, where so this movie's not, I didn't think it was a complete disaster. Let me
say this. I think that the premise is completely unbelievable. That, like, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall, like when some politician was like, to get rid of poverty and crime, let's just have a 12-hour period where we can all, like, rape and pillage and murder and...
Yeah, it's very, I think it's an intriguing premise. And so I think it's a very intriguing premise. And I think that, if not a goofy premise, if not that was my whole thing. It was like they kept talking about, this is so great because we get rid of crime by having a night where you can do whatever you want. It's like, so based on this movie, there's like an incredible amount of people are murdered on this night. It's like, okay, so
but it's supposed to be the affluent people can protect themselves, or they have the weapons. So it's the the people who are homeless and the people who are unemployed. Those are the ones that are being targeted. And
so that's where it also, another reason I find it intriguing is it kind of presents this interesting sort of moral issue, and they're talking about it, but they didn't really do that much with it. And that was one thing that annoyed me with the movie, is that the morals, the moral issues were so, they flipped so easily. It was like, oh, we shouldn't kill this person. Okay, let's kill him. And then, what are you thinking? Why would we kill them? And then it's like, oh, well, why aren't we killing them? It's just like, it was so unbelievable that I think you were supposed to kind of develop these feelings of kind of anger and hatred towards some characters, and support, wanting them to kill people for other characters, but I didn't feel that way with anybody. I felt like...
I disagree. I felt that way, and I kind of like the struggle in between. This is morally wrong, but we're also trying, sorry to spoil, I don't think it's a spoiler, but we're trying to save our family, so what do you do in that situation? And I think there was this obvious struggle.
I agree. Well, I think that it would have been better if that struggle was handled better. I just think
I do agree.
There were so many illogical, silly things happening. There were so many people just go missing for a half hour of the movie.
Oh yeah, well, when you turn to me and you're like, don't really seem to care a lot about the daughter.
No, it's like this whole movie takes place in a house. And it's like, if your daughter was missing for a half hour and things were going south, you would think there would be some conversation of hey, we should probably find our daughter first. If the whole concept of why they're doing this is to protect the family, you should at least locate the family.
So in the synopsis, it does say that there is a stranger in the house. So let's tell you this: there is a stranger in the house, and there's a stranger, you don't know if they're dangerous, and your daughter is just like hanging out somewhere in the house in a tiny Catholic schoolgirl uniform.
Yes,
and there was no concern.
Just change your clothes. Why don't you change your clothes when you're hanging out all night? There were so many silly things. I mean, I wanted this movie to be so much better. I wanted to,
I never said there weren't problems with it, but I was entertained the whole time.
Well, here's the other thing, I think, and that's fair enough. I mean, I could see, but
it's not winning any awards.
No, it's absolutely not winning any awards. But even when I see a movie like this, I expect the audience. This is the kind of movie where people are getting killed and shot all the time, and this is the kind of movie where people are supposed to be going like, oh no, it was silent the entire movie.
It was a little predictable.
It was exactly. It was very predictable, and again, I think that there wasn't enough goodwill for any particular character. There wasn't enough the bad guys really weren't even, they were almost the most likable people. I mean, they were not likable, but they were the most interesting.
So maybe there wasn't good character development?
Yeah, they were just, to me, they were more interesting characters than Ethan Hawke and his family.
I would have liked to have known a little bit more about the stranger.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, and that was another thing.
They kept showing these dog tags, so I'm like, is he like a war veteran?
Yeah,
or
that's such an integral part of and this is in the trailer, that they let somebody in the house, and that's what sets off all this stuff.
I would have liked to have known more about him.
That's such an important part, and he just is a character that pops up when he needs to pop up, and so that just, I don't know, I just thought it was really problematic, and I wish I liked it more, and I'm glad you liked it. That's great. I mean...
Again, the movie definitely had its issues, but at least I was entertained.
Yeah.
It was worth the nothing that I paid for it.
Yes. So, I mean, I think what we say at the end always, would you recommend this movie? I think you've already said.
You know what, I would. I would recommend it, but again, not something that you have to see in the theater. You would be, I think, just as happy watching it on your couch.
Yeah, I think... I mean, obviously, I would not recommend this movie. Maybe at home on your couch, maybe. I mean, it wasn't, as I said, it wasn't an outright disaster, but I
still hate Ethan Hawke. I still think he's a terrible actor.
Well, I know. I think you were saying beforehand you didn't like Sinister, which that was one movie I did like recently.
No, could not stand Sinister. I thought it was terrible.
It was a little goofy at the end, but it was pretty spooky.
I don't know. I guess I'm just immune to spook.
This wasn't spooky either, and I guess maybe it wasn't trying to be. It was more trying to be like a thriller or something. But I think that's another thing is I think people didn't want to see this movie, because it was. Although it was #1 at the box office this weekend, it was kind of shocking. But it's really not that spooky.
No, I didn't. There wasn't a moment that I, jumped.
I don't think we ever jumped or. It was. And that's also, I think, a problem, because this is so unsettling that there's one night a year that your neighbors and everybody can kill anyone they want with no repercussions, and I didn't feel the heebie-jeebies at all.
Right.
But the trailer made me feel that. I was like, oh my gosh, that is so spooky.
The people with the masks were a little creepy, and just like the skipping and the swinging, and they were
a little spooky, but they were also a rip-off of The Strangers a little bit, like that movie, The Strangers.
Yeah, no, I totally see that.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that wraps it up. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for seeing the movie with me and doing an exceptional job reviewing it. If you want to see more of my reviews, as always, you can go to my website at it'sallinthemovies.com. Also, I have a tab there where you can see ratings for every movie I've seen this year, including the ones I haven't done reviews for, because there are just some movies I'm not able to film a review for. You can shoot me an email at it'sallinthemovies@gmail.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at AllInTheMovies. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.